Oculus Connect 6, day 2. I'm trying to make a better video today, so I'm starting bright and early. I've got an Apple, I've got my tripod, I've got my free Oculus shirt, and I'm walking to a cafe to get some coffee. Across the street here is an art gallery where last night they showed there was about 50 people there, and they were all talking about XR and a few alternative topics like love, pornography. People were demoing some augmented reality apps like Doodle Lens. The Nreal glasses were there, and it was a pretty cool little event. Now I'm outside the cafe. I found it on my first day here, and just discovered this Italian cafe, and I figured if anyone is going to do espresso latte decently, it might be an Italian cafe. I checked it out yesterday, and it's actually pretty good. So if you're visiting San Jose, I recommend it. Yesterday, I sat down and said hello to the person next to me because I saw he had a VR headset, and it turned out to be a developer from Melbourne who I tried to connect with the day before, and I got to know him and chat about the games that he's done in the past. So he's done some fairly successful mobile games, and now he's looking at virtual reality. So that was really cool. And after this coffee, we went to the keynote and walked around the demo floor a bit. And yeah, a really cool guy. Now I know someone in Melbourne making a virtual reality game, and that's awesome. And then I did drop back into this cafe at night, and they had stand-up comedians in the front area, and it was really cool. So I recommend it. My quest for coffee failed. They are opening late today, so I'm going elsewhere. Okay, so I finally found an open cafe. It's called Voltaire Coffee House, and it's across the road from the convention center, and looking good so far. Yeah, not bad. I guess this one's even more of a dedicated cafe because they do roasting and cold drips, and so maybe this one's even better. So here's the badge that I got yesterday, and what I'm going to do is, this video is going to be a 2-part video, and I'm going to recap yesterday, but not make a dedicated video for yesterday. So what happened after I met the Melbourne developer was we went to the keynote, and basically there's a lot of focus on Quest, and if you were not sure about whether to develop a VR or what hardware to support, the Quest now has been out for 4 months, and it seems to be doing pretty well in terms of content, and they could just continue to bundle more and more into the firmware. So what's new is that you can connect it to your PC you can connect your Quest, which is normally a wireless with built-in everything. You can now connect it to your PC and play high quality games, and different games from a different library. You can, and also you can open up the Oculus Go games within the Quest, a selection of them. I think it uses some form of an emulator. So that's another new feature of Quest. They're working on hand tracking, so I'm going to talk about more about the hand tracking in depth later, because I think that what it is, using the Quest's cameras, they can detect where are your hands, and so you don't need to hold a controller, and it can detect this. It guesses the skeleton behind your hands, so then it can know when you're doing certain gestures or where your hands are. And I'm going to try that today, because I didn't try it yesterday. So that was the main things from the keynote for me. In terms of the Quest, you should feel confident if you're going to develop the Quest. What they didn't show was any like new hardware, and it just seemed to be full support for the Quest from across the board, and that's really good because I already thought it was good, but it's getting better. What Another thing that they showed was Facebook Horizon. So note that they're now using the Facebook brand for an app, and the Horizon app is a social environment where you can meet your friends. You can manipulate the environment to create like new worlds, and then you can do basic scripting so that you could do like game scenarios, and it's pretty colorful. It just looks good quality, and that's coming out next year. They also showed off some new titles that we mostly knew about. The one thing that we didn't know about was what Respawn was working on, and that's World War II shooter called Medal of Honor. And I'm not really into shooters, so I might try it, but I'm not going to get in line for 2 hours to try it. It's not a priority for me. Something that I thought I had yesterday was that, what is this series of videos, and why am I doing these videos? Well, it's a snapshot of me and my journey to understand the VR industry and how I can help people deliver amazing games. So sometimes it will be me talking to developers, but other times it's just me talking about what I did, who I spoke to, what I think of new developments. So like my day yesterday was pretty packed, and I went to a session on content store success. So when you launch your app, or when your game is almost ready, how do you get it onto the store and help ensure that it's going to be good? The main thing that I took away from it was that don't leave marketing to the last minute. Well, in general, if you haven't thought about marketing while you're doing the concept for your game, then maybe it is a little bit too late, because marketing is the art and science of creating, communicating and delivering value. But if you haven't done research or tested it with users, they did recommend testing with users often, and with many, so that's good. But just you've got to be able to show that it's valuable to them, and that's part of marketing. And if the game you make is no one likes it, then there might be a very small audience for it. Instead of 100,000, you might be looking at one. So yeah, just don't leave marketing to the last minute. So the other thing I went to was the Carmack. So John Carmack is the CTO of Oculus, or something like that, and he reviewed some apps. I saw a pretty cool one from a New Zealand developer. The game was called Zombie Donut, and it was an Oculus Go app that looked really nice. And you shoot marshmallows at zombies, and they come at you in waves, and it's all candy themed. Looked really cool. I basically had two good conversations with people yesterday, and one was the Melbourne developer, and the other one was the developer of Light Strike Array, which is a competitive embodied combat arena. I think that's what he likes to call it, a brawler. And we talked about I met him on the floor, literally on the floor, working on his game, because he's demoing it tonight. So he had a new feature idea that he just had to finish, and talked about what he's going to do in future, and what he needs, what sort of team he would need to find, what sort of support he needs, because I think he has really good ideas around using the unique capabilities of VR, which is 6DoF controllers to create really immersive gameplay that is inspired by things like TV shows and anime. I literally bumped into Norm Chan from Tested.com, and I just said sorry because I actually bumped into him. But that was pretty cool to see someone from probably my favorite YouTube channel. At about 4 o'clock, I basically crashed, and I had to stumble home like a zombie and just pass out on bed for a few hours. Then I woke up and went to the Dimension X art gallery and met people doing Nreal, AR, and a few other things. It was really good to see a variety of people who, some of them really confident demoing their product, and other people who are like a volunteer working at the booths here and just getting started. So it's really cool to meet such a variety of people. All right, that's it for this recap. And next up, I'll be going to a breakfast with YouTubers. So I'll see you then.